What's up, everybody? Sorry about not being around last week. We had some family over and ran a little long, but we had a good time. It was cool. We haven't seen them in a while and hung out in a while, so it was awesome. And then I just been working this week, and then my wife got sick, so I was looking after her, and it's been a week. So I didn't get a chance to get around to this. So, but we're getting to it today, which is awesome because I kind of missed it, and I missed y'all. I know it's sappy, but I did. So, but it's cool because I got a chance to go back into Genesis and read Genesis 37 through 50, which is one of my favorite stories of the Bible. It is the story of Joseph. And if y'all do not know this story, I highly recommend you. I highly recommend you read the whole Bible. But this is one of my favorites, and it has an extremely powerful message behind it when you stop to really think about it. And so I'm not going to go over everything quite in detail because that's not the type of person I am right now. Maybe down the road, but once I figure all this out. But we're going to streamline it. Give you a quick Cliff Notes version, as quick as I can. It's a pretty long story, but basically, Joseph was Jacob's son, Jacob's youngest son, and he was, excuse me, he was the favorite. He was the one who Jacob gave the robe of many colors to. Joseph in his dream color raincoat or whatever it was. I don't know. I never saw it. But so his brothers did not like this. Kind of despised him for it. And one night he had this dream, and the basic gist of the dream was that his brothers were going to bow down to him one day, and now they especially didn't like him for that. So they weren't happy. They were not nice to him. And not too long after that, he has another dream where essentially it's his mother and father and brothers are his whole family basically is going to end up bowing down to him. And even his dad was like, I don't think so. But he didn't forget that because Jacob knows how the Lord works. So he sends Joseph out to his brothers who are out in the fields tending the flock. Basically, hey, Joseph, go check on them. So Joseph walks out there and goes to check on them. They see him coming and they conspire to kill him. And it's terrible. But the one brother Reuben's like, nah, we're not doing that. We'll figure something else out. We're not going to put that blood on our hands. So they all sit down and they see traders come by and they're like, we'll sell them because that's a viable option apparently. So the Midianites come by and they decide to sell them. And so they sell them. Bring them out of the pit, they sell them, and the Midianites take them to Egypt. Well, they dip the colorful coat in goat's blood and take it back home and basically tell Jacob that a wild animal got to young Joseph and he's gone, he's perished. So, of course, he's very distraught by this, being his favorite son, and so that kind of goes on from there. Then we go back to Joseph in Egypt. I'm gonna skip over Judah and Tamar. I know it sounds terrible, but doesn't really. I don't see a point in that for where this is going. But I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please let me know. So, anyways, we're in Egypt, and they sell him in Egypt, and he ends up going to work in a man named Potiphar's house, who is a captain of the guard for the Pharaoh. And the Lord is with Joseph, so he does really good. So he becomes an overseer of the home. Now, Joseph's a good-looking kid, swole up, real handsome dude. So the wife's like, hey, I see you. Joseph's like, nah, we're not doing this. And she just keeps on, come on. He's like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I refuse. I'm not going to make my master mad. I'm not going to do that to God. And she's trying, boy. She's trying. And one day he comes to work, and all the men of the house are gone. And she gets a hold of his garment and she's like, come on, let's do this. And he's like, I'm not. No, you can't. We're not doing this. So he takes off. Well, as he takes off, she's got a hold of his garment and she keeps his garment. So, Poppy's going to help me tell the story. You got it, Miss Poppy? Who's a good girl. So anyways, sorry about that. So he runs off and she got the garment. She's like, look, he come in here and he tried to have his way with me. We need to take care of this. This isn't cool. So she basically lies about him. And me too'd him, and he's like, I didn't do any of this, but Potiphar was like, I don't care, put him in jail. So they throw him in the pit, and he's in the pit, and he's there for quite a while. And then the cupbearer and the baker of the Pharaoh end up in jail, and they each have dreams themselves, and they don't have anybody to interpret these dreams, so they're a little distraught. And Joseph's like, hey man, I know dreams, bro, go ahead and tell me. So they tell him, and he basically tells them what the dreams mean. The cupbearer, in 3 days you're gonna come back into favor with Pharaoh and everything's gonna be good. And to the baker, he's like, in 3 days you messed up, and Pharaoh's gonna hang you, and yeah, you're gonna lose your head, and he's gonna hang you. And this all came to, and Joseph was like, if this comes to pass, just remember me. He told the cupbearer, and cupbearer, oh yeah, sure, no problem. So all this came to pass. Cupbearer comes back into favor. Baker gone, and he forgets about him. And the very next passage starts 2 whole years later. So it's been 2 years he's been in this pit, and the Pharaoh has a dream. And the Pharaoh's distraught because nobody can tell him what this dream is. Well, now the cupbearer's like, oh yeah, hey, when I was locked up, this dude, you know the old story. When I was locked up, this dude that I knew in lockup, that's a secular joke. But he's like, yeah, I know this dude who can interpret dreams. He's locked up right now. Pharaoh's like, go get him. So they shave him and clean him up and dress him up so he can come in front of the Pharaoh. And he comes in front of the Pharaoh and interprets the Pharaoh's dream and lets him know that your dream basically means for 7 years the land is going to be plentiful. You're going to have all kinds of harvest. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be bountiful. But then you're going to have 7 years of famine after that. So I would suggest you stock up during those 7 good years, and that way during the 7 bad years, we're covered. So the Pharaoh's like, man, I like this dude. So he's like, okay, do it. So he basically appoints Joseph second in command over all of Egypt. Like he rises fast, man. Pharaoh digs this guy. He's a good dude, and he likes the way he thinks and what he does. So over the 7 years, harvests are bountiful and everything's good, and he's putting stuff in storage and warehouses and keeping it all up. And then when the 7 years of famine come, they're ready. As a matter of fact, they're so ready. They got everybody from all over the earth basically coming to them, buying their grain for food, and they're riding high. So finally, Jacob sends his sons, Joseph's brothers, to Egypt and says, "Hey man, they got grain. Go buy some." So they all go to Egypt, and but they don't recognize my dude. They don't recognize Joseph but Joseph sees them. He's like, I know these dudes. These are my brothers. So we'll mess with them a little bit. So he's a little stern with them, and he's messing with them. Tell them they're spies and make them a little nervous and whatnot. I mean, you expect them not to do nothing, right? No, I'm just playing. So he's messing with him a little bit, and give him a little grief, and he asked about his dad, and asked about his little brother Benjamin, who is the new favorite. So he's like, where's the little guy? And they're like, no, he's back with dad because we're not doing this again. So he tests his brothers, and he's like, hey, y'all go, but I'm gonna keep your one brother until you bring the young one back because I want to see him. And so they're back and forth, and finally they agree. So he gives them all their provisions, and he also puts their money back in their bags and sends them on. So when they get home, they open up their bags and they realize that the money is there, and they're like, "Oh man, this something must have happened," and they're freaking out a little bit now. So time goes by and they need more grain. So Jacob, go get some more grain, and they're like, "We got to bring Benji," and Jacob's like, "No, we're not doing that." And they're like, "We got to. Our other brother's still there, and he wants to see Benjamin. We won't see his face again unless we bring Benjamin." And so Judah's like, I swear to y'all, I will make sure he's good. Don't even worry about it. So everything goes to plan. They all end up going back, and they bring Benjamin with them, and so they all come and they see Joseph and his other brother's fine, and Joseph throws a big feast for him and everything, and gives little Benjamin 5 times the portions of what everybody else gets, and they're all kind of like, what's the deal here? So I don't know what the significance of that is. Again, if you do, let me know. This is all, I just like the story, and I know what the overall meaning of it is, but I don't know what the little nuances of it are, if you will. So where was I? Oh yeah, they were at the banquet. So after that, load him up, send him home, but they put the silver cup in Benjamin's bag, and they take off. So he tells his guard, I guess, his captain, whoever's with him, his men, hey, go stop those guys and check their bags, and let's mess with them a little bit. So they go off and they mess with them, and they find them and they search the bags, and somebody took some stuff from the house of the master, and they're all like, no, we didn't take nothing. The money, we gave it back. We even brought the money from before back. Like, why would we take something? That don't make no sense. So everybody essentially empties their bags, and Benjamin's got the silver cup. And so they all come back together, and finally Joseph breaks down. He's like, look, it's me, Joseph. And he ends up crying, and they wept on each other, and they kissed each other, and they all had their little reunion. And, the brothers are they're a little worried, because Joseph, he's second in command. He's in charge of all the grain. He's high on that hog, boy, and they're freaked out a little bit. And he's like, no, man, don't worry about it. He's like, he just wants to know is Jacob still alive? Is my father still alive? And they're like, yeah, bet, go get him. We're gonna move him to Egypt. And we're going to move. In fact, we're going to move the whole family to Egypt. So Pharaoh agrees. Pharaoh gives him the best land of Egypt, and he goes back, and they all go back, and they grab Jacob and the flock and the brothers wives and kids and everybody, and they all move to Egypt. And everybody lives well. I mean, Jacob lived there for another 17 years. He was 147. He was 130 at the time, I believe, and he lived to 147, if I'm remembering the numbers correctly. And then he passed on, and Pharaoh gave him permission to go, bury him with Abraham and all them, and Isaac and everybody at the burial spot that Abraham had bought. So, they did that, and then they came back and lived it out. And, the brothers were freaked out a little bit, like, what's going on? And he was like, y'all meant to do me evil. He's like, but God had a better plan for me, and that's the whole point of this. That is the whole point of this. God did good. Where you did evil, God did good. And God will move you into a place where you may think you're in despair, but you're in the right place at the right time. You don't even realize it. He was in that pit for 2 years before Pharaoh came up, and had he not been there, he would have never went to Pharaoh, never interpreted that dream, never became in charge of Egypt, never would have saved the world. I mean, essentially that's what he did. With that one plan, he saved everybody. He fed everyone. He kept everybody from starving to death. That's an amazing thing. I mean, when you stop to think about it, the life of this kid is it's mind-blowing. The stuff he went through, that he had to go through to be put in the positions that he was in. He started off a little arrogant, a little ornery, a little prideful, if you will. Hey, look, I'm the favorite. Y'all are going to bow to me, type of thing. I don't know if that's how, but that's kind of how he knew his brothers didn't like it, but he still kind of put it out there, kind of like a na, if you will. But he was young, so then he gets sold. Then he kind of gets a high position in the house where he was working, so he was doing good. And then he gets accused of assaulting the wife, and he gets thrown in the pit. And he's there for quite a while. And then finally he gets, put up to the highest place. The second highest, right under Pharaoh. He was second in charge. And because of that, he saved everyone. He saved that grain, and everything worked out. Those 7 years of famine, everybody was good. And it's amazing the way God works and works in your life. And it made me realize that, these places that I'm in, and the places that I have been in, and even where I'm at now, I'm just waiting in my cell. Maybe, maybe I'm just waiting in my cell. And, somebody's going to come and ask me, what does dream mean at some point? And, boy, that's when we going to get to shine. And, it's going to be amazing, and we're going to do wonderful things because, God is with us, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to see where he takes me. I'm 100% excited to see where he takes me. I love the fact that I can see now where he's taking people that don't believe in him. And it makes me giggle and smile, because it's like, I know what's happening. You're being blessed right now, and you don't even realize it. And then it kind of hurts my heart at times too, because I'll see people getting blessed with these wonderful things, but yet they take it for granted so much that they don't even see it. They don't see this beauty and wonder that they're being handed. All they see is the negative and the bad and oh man, now I got to do this and I got to do that. But look what you've got. Look what he's given to you. You've got so much. And you're focusing on this one little thing. You're focusing on this one rainy day and not these 364 beautiful sunny days that he's given you. You know, who cares about those sunny days? Oh, it's the rainy days. You know, we even do it now, even during the rain. You know, oh, I can't stand this rainy day. Well, for the last 4 days, it's been beautiful outside, and you just took that for granted. You know, and this is how I see things now. It's pretty wild. But I hope if you're not seeing things this way, that you will come over and see it this way. And it's a beautiful place to be. I love it. It's totally changed my opinion and the way I think, the way I live. I'm extremely grateful for everything I have, and I don't really want anymore because he's given me everything I need and more. We have an abundance of stuff that we don't even need, but the Lord saw fit to bless us with it, and I think that's incredible, and I thank Him every day for it. It's incredible. I know I keep saying it, but it is. I mean, he's a wondrous being. I mean, if you can't be in awe of the maker of the universe, I don't know what to tell you. But it's a great story. I love it. It's I remember the first time I read it, I was just like, wow, what a great story. What a great, just an impactful story. You know, this kid who was just up and down. He was riding that roller coaster, man, and he finished high. I mean, it was incredible. So, anyways, I encourage you all to read it if you haven't. Even if you haven't read it in a while, go back Genesis 37 straight to the end of the book, man. And ponder on it whenever you read it. Read it slowly and really let it sink in. Like I said, I'm just giving you a quick run through of what the story was. You know, there's more intricacies to it, and you know, all those things. So I definitely please read it. It's a wonderful story, and it's got some deep meaning there. And like I said, I don't know all the nuances. If somebody wants to get into the nuances with me with it in the comments or in the DMs, please, definitely. I would love to have a discussion about it. So yeah, that's really all I got this week. Hopefully everything will work out well, and I'll be able to get back to my weekly things. And you know, God willing, this takes off a little bit better. And if not, I'm still going to do it because I'm having fun doing it, and I enjoy it, and it's helping me in my spiritual maturity in my my walk with Jesus, if you will. I think it's helping me understand things that I didn't understand by speaking it out loud and kind of going over it a little bit better. You know, and as I continue to do these, hopefully I'll get a little more insightful with it. That's the goal, at least. But as for right now, it's just kind of my loose interpretation of what it is that I'm reading, how I'm seeing things, how I'm thinking, and my change of who I am to from who I was. And you know, the cynical, negative, just sarcastic, everything is just kind of brah. To life is beautiful and grand, man. And yeah, it's a good place to be. I'm happy. I'm loving my walk. Even them times when it's rough, I love it because I know that there's a reason behind it. And even though I might be in a low spot, when I come out high, I'm gonna be higher than I was before. You know, they keep saying this verse has hit me probably about 8 times this week, but in different variations, even at church today. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who live humbly will be exalted. Yeah, man, I don't know if it might not have anything to really, I guess it kind of does have something to do with the story, maybe a little bit. I don't know, but I just wanted to share that. It's been thrown at me a couple times this week. So, anyways, as usual, I'm rambling now. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by and listening to me. Just tell my stories and talk to y'all and get my my therapy out, if you will, and talk to you about the Lord because I'm excited about it and I'm happy. And hopefully, you know, this inspires some folks. If it does, great. If not, I'm sorry, but we'll keep trying. Okay. Keep on coming back. Don't give up on me now. But yeah, I love all y'all very much, and I appreciate y'all who subscribed. I appreciate y'all who comment. I appreciate y'all who like, and I appreciate y'all who even watch. Thank you very much, and I hope y'all have a wonderful week. God bless.